Hello and welcome to the Marketing Foundations podcast. Today I am joined by the owner and CEO of JobTread. We have Eric Fortenberry. He is going to be sharing a lot on the importance of project management within construction and the importance of organization. And it's so great to have you today, Eric. I wanted to bring you on because I know that with JobTread, you guys do a lot of really great things within the construction space. Tell me a little bit about what prompted you to start JobTread.
Yeah, thanks for having me on, Seth. Good to be here. So I actually had a buddy of mine was running a construction company, and he was just struggling to scale the business. He'd asked me to come over, take a look at their operations, kind of see if I had any recommendations for him. And when I walked in the door, man, I saw the chaos. It was all over the place, like piles and piles of papers. They were printing off every bill. They had all the timesheets, the guys walking in the door, putting in their, paper timesheets, putting them into folders. And, I saw firsthand this like chaotic situation. I was like, man, like we need to get some systems, some processes in here. I see how you're struggling to scale the business for sure. And they were, not a small business. They're 5 years in doing 5 million in revenue. Like they'd
Wow.
gotten over that initial startup and, running, 10, 15 jobs at once. And so like, to see this breakdown though, it was apparent that we needed to find them some software.
Yeah.
That's when I went and I looked at everything out there, made a big old spreadsheet of all the pros, the cons, all the features. And, I struggled to make a recommendation for them though. And, the owner was like, man, come on, you're a software guy. Can't you just build us something? I was like, whoa, hold on. Not trying to like create another one-off here that, eventually you guys will have to maintain. I also wasn't really looking for a full-time job or anything. I
Mm.
just sold my previous company and I was just kind of coming in to help them out. But, I thought more about it. I was like, man, like this is such a huge opportunity, in the construction space. As I did more digging, I was like, man, like they're really like lagging in technology here. And,
Mm.
decided that we'd go ahead and move forward. Told them I had 3 conditions. One, I take over as CEO. I need the full ability to hire, to fire, to implement whatever systems, processes, like just whatever needed to be done to right the ship.
Yeah.
2, I told them I'd give them 1 year of my time, undivided attention. Every day I was going to come into the office. We're going to be there. We're going to, again, get this thing back on track. And 3, everything I built was my intellectual property. So if this had the potential to become my next software company, then after that 1 year, I would have that option to go and, create it. And, sure enough, we built JobTread out of a needs basis over the course of that year, and grew the business from 5 to 8 million in sales, increased
Wow.
our gross profit by 43%. And it was just a great opportunity to learn firsthand, to get a deep dive into the construction space. But we built this thing, working directly with everyone on their team. And after that 1 year is that was in 2018. So 2019 we started JobTread and recruited some of my developers, my designers, CFO from my last company, and we started this thing up.
Wow. That's an incredible story. So now you've been full on for about 5 years. Is that correct?
Yep.
You guys have scaled up quite significantly. Like your biggest competitors in the space would probably be like Builder Trend, and then what's the other one there?
Builder Trend ended up buying Co-Construct, so they're no longer operating Co-Construct. But
Okay.
we spent the first couple of years building, and
Yep.
then started selling in 2021. Ended up like kind of right when sort of COVID let up a bit, we were able to go out to the trade shows again, just getting out there face to face with people, learning about their needs. And we got it to about 200 companies that year. 2022, we got to 1,000 customers. 2023, we ended up at 2,200 customers. This year our goal was 4,000. We're already at like 4,250. So it's it's definitely been exponential growth for us.
That's incredible. And what are you projected to be at by the end of 2025?
Again, we'll our goals keep doubling up. So hopefully,
Yep.
around 8,000 customers.
That's wild. Okay. And so now I have a question about like the target audience and who you're targeting with JobTread. So who is this meant to help and who can benefit from using it?
Yeah, we very intentionally have built it in a way that like it's applicable to any construction based business. So if you're running construction jobs, if you're going out there and custom bidding a job,
Yep.
as long as it's kind of within construction, this tool can be used for you. So we've got everyone from home builders and general contractors to, remodelers to pool builders, deck builders, roofers, painters, just any construction based business is able to use JobTread to manage, all of their operations.
Wow. Okay. And so you guys, do you currently have like an app on the App Store to pair with this? Are you planning on doing that? If not,
So we've actually, it's really, it's a web-based application. And so what we've been able to do is actually leverage what's called a progressive web app.
mm,
So on the iPhone and the Android, you essentially just save the browser version to your home screen, and that creates its own little app wrapper. Like, you would never know that it wasn't downloaded from the iOS or the Android App Store. But there's a few benefits of this. I mean, one, it's enabled us to build extremely fast because we
mm,
only have to create one version of our application. We're not creating a backend web app and then an iOS app and then an
yeah.
Android app. Those are three separate development languages. And then every time you add a feature to one, you got to go add it to the other two. So leveraging this progressive web app technology has allowed us to have all of the same functionality that you
Mhm.
can do on the desktop available on tablets, iPads, iPhones, Androids. Like, any device gets every single bit of functionality that you can do on the desktop. It's just, the size, the width of the device. So
Yeah.
if you're on a big desktop, you might have, 3 columns of information. If you're on a tablet, maybe it's just two. If you're on a phone, it's all responsive and condenses down to 1 column so that you can just kind of use the information based on the size of device you're on. The other
Mm,
big advantage of this is that this has allowed us to circumvent the app stores, where they charge 30% of your revenue to be listed on there, and every sign up, they're taking a huge chunk of your of the revenue coming in. And so, for that reason, we also wanted to be able to circumvent that. Our goal is to keep JobTread and the price of our software as affordable as possible.
mm,
I believe very, very much that, like, software should be affordable for all sizes of business. I mean, if you're a solo owner operator all the way up to hundreds of employees, you should be able to afford a software solution for your business. And so our goal is to keep JobTread as affordable as we possibly can, and not having to give away 30% of our revenue to someone definitely helps with that.
wow. That's really awesome. I never really looked at it in that sense, that it is like building three separate applications, Android app, and then you have the website of things.
Yeah.
That's incredible. Now I'd like to pivot a little bit and talk more about the actual construction industry as a whole. And you are completely in it. You're surrounded by all these construction companies. You have to watch the trends. Where are you seeing the biggest room for opportunity for construction companies as a whole moving into 2025?
Yeah, I mean, I think at the end of the day, like, what we're seeing is that a lot of the older construction companies who, are really kind of just stuck in their ways. They're not open to, adopting new technologies, new methods, new ways of operating. I mean, we're starting to see that they're really struggling. They're struggling to win jobs. They're struggling to keep up. We see this new era of, of contractors who, they're on the cutting edge of leveraging technology. They're providing, much faster, much more accurate quoting, to get those proposals out to their customers and their leads. We see people that are better managing their jobs. I mean, they're so much more efficiently operating that they can take on more jobs, without
Mhm.
sacrificing quality, without, stretching themselves too thin. And then, really, probably the biggest thing is the customer experience. At the end of the day, like, when you have a client portal and you have a way for, your end customer to be involved, not only in the sales process, kind of making their selections, controlling the budget, and what they want to move forward with, but then after that, being involved and seeing the schedule and seeing the daily logs and all the progress photos, and being able to have that, real-time communication with the contractors, like, that's
Yeah.
providing such a better experience for the end customer that, people are now starting to involve their use of technology and their use of systems in the sales process,
Mhm.
because they can win. That can be a huge differentiator. People don't always buy based on price. They buy because they trust, they want to work with people. And so, like, we think that, like, leveraging this and providing this much better customer experience, like, that's going to be the way that, these contractors are going to continue to win those 5-star reviews. They're going to have great online digital reputations, And
Yep.
that will be, something that's just going to help so many contractors. They're either going to sink or they're going to swim. And, we really want to help all of the contractors who are willing to adopt technology, kind of make those changes and implement these solutions that can help them win more jobs and provide a much better experience and make more money too. Like at the end of the day, like contractors need to be able to manage, their cash flow and manage the finances and pay the bills and keep their people fed. Like, it's so important that contractors are earning, their fair share here and earning their keep for the hard work that they're doing every day. And so we've got a great system that's helping them do that. And I have no doubt that the people that are on JobTread or using some sort of a system, they're going to be the ones that are going to see the biggest wins in this next year.
I love that. And so how can JobTread also tie into the marketing? And so that's a lot of what I do. And maybe I can even part answer this question as well. But like, how do you see JobTread being also integrated into, go high level in the future and different marketing strategies? And how can this win more projects for people?
Yeah, absolutely. So, again, we already have like ways where you can take like web forms and create, contact us, request a quote.
Yep.
You can embed those on your website that can automatically feed into your JobTread. For people that are looking for, a full-blown marketing automation system, like such as high level, HubSpot, things like that. Like, JobTread is very, very like, integration friendly. So we view us as a platform to help you create a connected ecosystem of all the solutions that you need to better
Mm,
manage your business. And so, right now we integrate with Zapier, and we see a lot of integrations, where they're connecting JobTread to other systems through Zapier. We do have a relationship with High Level, though. We're planning to actually build a first class integration
mm,
into JobTread. But again, I think the biggest value add between having a marketing system and JobTread connected is that we can help close the loop. We can help show you, what marketing efforts are the most effective, because, when you get new leads in the funnel, that's awesome, but you got to win those jobs. And so when that information, when those leads come in, when you're ready to go quote out, those jobs, that's when, it seamlessly transfers over to JobTread. It creates the customer and the job right there. You go build out the proposal. Once you send it, that information can automatically go back into your marketing CRM. You can see the date you sent it, the amount of what that proposal was for, and then ultimately, hopefully when you win the job, and that proposal gets approved, well, then that can also go back directly into the marketing CRM, where it can update the final amount, giving you all those approvals, moving those opportunities to the correct stages, and like we see that again, like that's like closing the loop. So the total value of
mhm.
that contract can now be directly attributed to the marketing source, whether it was, your website, whether it was, an ad that you're running, Facebook or Google, whatever it may be. Like, this is so important to help marketers better understand the effectiveness of the strategies that they're employing. And so like we see that we're able to help close that loop by connecting JobTread to the existing marketing systems.
That's incredible. Now let's also expand a little bit on the marketing. What are you seeing that's working from your side of things? And I can answer this as a marketer, but from your side of things, where's the best platform that a construction company can market themselves? And what are the biggest differentiators between the top construction companies and the ones that are struggling to find growth?
Yeah, I mean, what I'm seeing is the people who are winning the most jobs. I mean, they're very active on Facebook. They're
Hmm.
very active on Instagram, TikTok. Like, they're leveraging these social platforms to create not just an ad, but to create a brand. They're creating a presence. They have this persona that is out there, that is fun, that is exciting. They're showing their work constantly, creating this content that's very engaging to the audience. Like, that's what like your prospects want to see. They want to see all of those awesome experiences that you're creating. They want to see that great work, the end result. Like, and
Hmm.
that's like really, really engaging. And so like I'm seeing a lot of these influencers and these high end contractors have built themselves into very active,
Hmm.
social profiles, if you will, where they're constantly publishing, content, photos, videos. That is where, I really see the biggest wins coming in.
Love that. Yeah, that's some great advice. Leveraging the social media is a huge attribution to a lot of these contractors' success, is because they're showcasing the behind the scenes, they're showcasing the finished product, they're also just building so much personality behind their business, and people like to deal with people that they like.
Yeah.
Right. And if you can become a person that somebody likes through social media, them following you and seeing your personality, it's a great way to win their business in the future.
Yeah. I'll also throw out there. I mean, YouTube is king here too. Like,
True.
creating content and videos, everything from your day to day in the office to out on the job site to
Mhm.
your customer testimonials and the experience and the final walkthroughs. Like, record everything, create and capture as much content as you possibly can, and just publish. I see a lot of people that scared to get behind the camera. They don't want to, whatever. It's like, man, that first couple times, sure, you might want to do a couple takes, but eventually you'll get to the point where you're just going to click record that video and publish it, not even care. The more content that you can create and the better that you can showcase the work that you're doing, the people that you're helping, the impact that you're making, like, that's what's going to recruit and bring in more and more leads. And that's what's going to fill the top of your funnel.
That's some really good advice. Now, you have a large team with JobTread. How many employees are you at now?
I think we're at around, I think it's like 36 now.
36 employees. That takes a lot of managing. Now, I'd like to dive in a little bit on your philosophy behind hiring new people and what you look for when you're bringing on a new key team member.
Yeah, I mean, I think, for me, the number one thing I want to see in people joining our team is that they're passionate. I
Mhm.
want to find passionate people who care and are genuinely just like motivated to do their absolute best every single day. Like, I've learned that, like, money is not everything. Like, obviously, we believe in paying our people very well. We believe in giving them incentive and opportunities to go above and beyond and to earn more. But, like, when the money is all said and done and you set that aside, like, the passion, that fire in your belly, the thing that is going to make the biggest difference between, two other people, if everything else was equal, is like that intrinsic drive,
Mm,
that desire to go above and beyond and bend over backwards, like, that hard work ethic, the people who are just persistent and will do whatever it takes to be successful, like, having that grit, like, that is something that, like, I immediately feel like, when I meet someone like that you can sense their energy. Like,
it
do they
can't be
have the
taught.
energy or do they
No,
not? And, to me, that's the most important thing. We want very, very smart people too. I believe that, regardless what role you're in, whether you're a salesperson, a customer support person, a project manager, developer, like, smart people are really, really, just like, it's so important to have people who have an in-depth understanding and the ability to learn new things, to figure out things. They're willing to continually grow and educate themselves. And I think, other than that, just, we personally look for people that have construction experience. If
Mhm.
you're going to come in any sort of customer facing role, whether it's sales, our customer success team, support team, like, we want you to understand the industry that we're in.
Yeah.
We try to only hire people that have spent time, owning construction companies, or being
Mhm.
an estimator or project manager, or whatever it may be. Like, it's so important that, like, our team understands what our customers are going through. They
Mhm.
understand what it's like to be in their shoes. And when we don't have to, like, teach that because they just bring that experience, I think it helps us to really, like, relate and have empathy and understanding for what our customers are going through. And that helps us to get them up to speed even quicker.
Mm, that's some really good advice. Um, Now, I noticed when I was visiting your office, you're really good at holding your team accountable. What are some tips that construction company owners can use to hold their team more accountable and ensure that everybody's growing and getting done what they say they're going to get done?
Yeah, I mean, we are all about transparency here. Like,
Yep.
as you noted when you came down here. I mean, like,
Yeah.
we got dashboards everywhere. Like, on every wall there are dashboards. We got a marketing dashboard, we got development dashboard, we got sales, we got customer success, we got customer support. Like, these dashboards are everywhere. And like, I think the neat thing about it though is, like, when you figure out what are your key performance indicators, like, what are the things that you want to
Mm,
motivate and incentivize people to do, well, then you figure out, how do I track that? And once you
yep.
can track that, then how do you gamify it? how do you put it on public display for everyone? And luckily, when you got a team of like, A players, dominant, like just going to go and like, we're very competitive people, that everybody's striving to be at the top of that leaderboard every single day. That really helps like everyone to kind of elevate their game and want to kick ass and just accomplish as much as we possibly can.
Yeah.
And it also sort of helps like, weak links, they're not going to last long. They'll end up taking themselves out. I think it's a really great way to just kind of have transparency
Mm.
across these different departments. Now, at the same time, like I'm really big on like, bringing the team together, really big on the culture. We do a lot of like, we have a team lunch every single Wednesday where we bring in catered lunch, and like everyone within the company kind of goes through their different departments and talks about what their wins are, what they're struggling with, like what's coming up, like, and it just allows everybody on the team to see what everybody else is working on, and then to kind of figure out like, hey, how can I help out, like, or is there something that I could do to be of assistance, or hey, I know this customer, we might be able to give you a lot of insight. Like just bringing the team together, I think it helps all of us like kind of hold each other, as teams and as departments, accountable to each other. Everybody wants to be able to step up and deliver, and we do that for each and every one of ourselves, like, and we have this appreciation for what everyone else is doing. When you can't see your what your estimators are doing, or what your project managers are doing, or what your back office is doing, like when you don't see what each other's doing and you don't understand each other's role, then oftentimes there's a lack of respect and appreciation and understanding. And so I think it's important that teams take the time to get together
Hmm.
and to share and to be an open book and like talk about, hey, here's where we're at, here's what we're doing well, here's where we're not doing so well. And just having that moment as a team can help everybody just learn and grow together. You don't need to have a bunch of siloed departments and people kind of operating by themselves. Like figure out how to create this cohesive culture where everyone feels that they're part of it and that they're winning together. And I think
Mm.
that's what makes it like really fun and exciting. One other thing I'll throw out, like, we have a who's kicking ass box. And so at the beginning of every single team lunch, I go read out, and they're just like anonymous, little anonymous notes people can drop in there when they see somebody on the team just going above and beyond, delivering an exceptional result. We read them all out at the very beginning of team lunch, and we give out like, you can choose, you want a Starbucks or a Chipotle gift card, but at the end of the day, like essentially we're recognizing all of the people who are just going above and beyond, and they're doing exceptional work. And I think that like, again, further motivates people. Recognition is free to give,
Yeah.
but like you got to be intentional and take the time to come up with these systems to be able to recognize your people when they do great work. Whether it's a guy out in the field or it's a salesperson or whoever it may be, like find ways to capture that information and recognize them, because that's like such a huge motivator. When people feel acknowledged and recognized, and that like their work is matter, that it matters, like they're going to want to keep doing that and keep going above and beyond. So figure out how you can do that.
Hmm. Yeah. So you've built how many companies and sold them? Just the one and sold it, or
So,
had
so I
you?
built and sold a software company. That was, my first one. And then I took over the construction company and basically handed the reins back to them. And that's when I started this, the construction software company.
So you've had some significant roles in the space of leadership, right? Where you've led a lot of people. There's a lot of guys that are running these construction companies, and they're not necessarily like trained on how to be a leader. What would be some really good advice to say a young business owner that's looking to start their company and they've never managed anybody and they don't know how to be a leader, but they want to lead their team properly?
I'd say at the end of the day, like, I mean, I've read a lot of leadership books. I've, studied a lot of people, Steve Jobs, Elon Musk, Mark Benioff, like just some of these, icons who have led these large, companies. But like
Right.
at the end of the day, like I think like the way to really earn the respect of your team is to not focus on your status and this title, and you're the business owner or the CEO. Like roll your sleeves up, get right down there in the trench next to your team, and never ask somebody to do something that like you haven't already or you wouldn't do yourself.
Yeah.
Obviously if it's not the best use of your time, then like and you're building out a team, like you can't always do every single thing, but like I'm a big believer in keeping our organization as flat as possible. I don't want my team members to see me as their boss. I want them to come and see me as their teammate, as
Hmm.
somebody who will just get right down there, bend over backwards, and do whatever it takes to help them succeed. And I think that just like, great leadership is not about, having a fancy title or a corner office or whatever. It's about, knowing what your vision and your mission is and what your core values are, and just
Hmm.
continually championing that to your team and to your customers and to the people that are engaging with your business. Like, you have to just lead by example. And so
Hmm.
know what you're all about, like know what, you care about and what you want your business, to do, and then just go live that. Go
Hmm.
live by, those core values. And I think at the end of the day, like, people will be attracted to, that energy and the good positive, impact that you're striving to make for your team members, for your community, for your customers. And so I think it's, there's not like this, like, oh, I need to go, get a degree in leadership. Like, it's not like, you have to, have a huge team and have built and sold companies to be a good leader. It's just,
Yep.
again, like, you do whatever it takes. You work harder than everybody else, and you just make things happen. You move mountains, you put on all the hats, at the end of the day, like, you fall on the sword when you have to.
Hmm.
It's not about, who's right, who's wrong. May the best idea always win, and just let people be open and honest. Like,
Yep.
again, I want people to tell me that I'm wrong, and to tell me the reason that their idea is a better idea. And, by golly, if it is, awesome. Let's roll with that then. Like, it doesn't need to be this, like, oh, well, he's the head. He's, what he says is right. Like, no, like, let's have healthy dialogue and communication, and just be
Yep.
open and honest and transparent. And I think that's how you lead people who want to be, part of your team and want to help and want to do what it takes.
That's powerful. Now, I'd like to talk a little bit about your upcoming event with JobTread. What is that? January 15th to 17th, correct?
Yep. JobTread Connect.
JobTread Connect. Now, I want to talk about why should people be attending this if they're a JobTread user? What kind of benefit are they going to get? And then I'd like to, after that, transfer into all of these different trade shows, and why should construction company owners be attending these, and what kind of value can they get from them? Well, let's start with the JobTread Connect. What kind of value are they going to get attending this if they're a user?
Yeah, I mean, look, coming out to JobTread Connect, it's a 3 day, like, fully immersive event where you are going to go through, like, you got main stage keynotes, you got ed session breakouts. Like, we have found the best in the industry, the people who are leading by example. They're crushing, their sales. They're delivering exceptional, customer experiences. Like, they're doing the best builds. Like, we have brought them. We had a big call for presentations. Tons and tons of people submitted. It was very, very hard to select who was going to get to speak this year. But, like, I think it's like, over 50 different ed sessions will be going on over the course of these 3 days, where you will be able to dive in and learn from others, from your peers, from people who are running businesses that have had tremendous success. Like, they are literally opening up their JobTread. They're opening up their books. They are sharing with you how they have done it, like their struggles, the challenges, how they overcame them, the
Mhm.
successes that they're having. So it's an opportunity to network and to learn from the best in the industry.
Mhm.
It's a great way, to meet others who are similar situations, similar type businesses. Maybe not your next door neighbor who, you might see as a competitor, but just people all over the country, really all over the world, are coming in for this event. We've got a ton of, like, roundtable networking. There's
Yep.
panel discussions. There's the opportunity to just collaborate with my team. My entire team will be out there at the event, sitting there, like, hand in hand, learning with you, learning, like, the things that are working well, the things that aren't working well, getting your, feedback and advice, and, like, how do we build this together? This is a collaborative effort. And so you're getting to make a direct impact on the development of the product that you're using to run your business. And I hope that you can meet some awesome partners, people such as what you guys are doing. Like, it's going to
Yep.
give people the opportunity to spend some time getting to know you, getting to know, like, how you can add value to their business. Like, I see a lot of entrepreneurs that, they take on as many things they possibly can, but that can also lead you to start dropping balls. And if
Mm.
you can't do something great, then you need to figure out who can do it for you, whether it's hiring someone, whether it's hiring a partner, at the end of the day, your job is to make sure that you are operating on all cylinders in every functional area of your business. And so we bring together a lot of our partners to come out there, spend time, again, doing education with you, doing ed sessions, but also just like helping you understand like their services and the value that they can add. And lastly, like, I hope you have some fun. We have got, social events, every night. Like, we have rented out, multiple different venues. We'll have, all the transportation, literally all of your food, like your breakfast, lunch, your dinners, your drinks, like everything is included. We want you to have a great time, not only learning, JobTread skills, but also just business skills like, sales, marketing, bookkeeping, project management, and then just meeting others, building those relationships so that you don't have to go and keep feeling like, you're the only one, lonely, running the business, all the pressure. Like, there is an enormous community here. This JobTread community is just a tremendous opportunity to get involved and to create ongoing relationships that, you can tap into. And hey, I'm struggling with this. What do you think I should do? Like, we love seeing the collaboration that has happened and that is forming within this JobTread community. We've got, like 4,500 of our users are in our JobTread Pros Facebook group, and like just seeing all of the ways that they're helping and supporting each other, as well as giving us ideas and feedback and all the excitement. Like, it's just such a really great opportunity to get involved in the community and to learn and to grow and to share with others.
That is amazing. Now, I'd like to talk. Well, first of all, before we transition, I'm going to be there. I'm one of the platinum sponsors. I'm really looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a great event, and I'm just telling everybody that I know that they should also be going to this. But I'd like to talk about all of these other trade shows that are going on. Is there benefit for owners of construction companies to be attending these? And if there is a benefit, what would that be?
Absolutely. I mean, I think, again, it's so important as as business owners, as people, whether you're in sales, estimating, project management, like, find where similar people are gathering and go
Mhm.
and spend time. Like, if you just have your head down, and just barreling away every single day, day after day, like, you're going to get burned out.
Yeah.
Sometimes you need to take a step back. You need to try to see the forest from the trees and understand, what can you do to improve? How can you do better? How can your company do better? Are there better tools out there? Are there better processes, techniques? Like, it's a great way to just continually get continuing education. Like,
Mhm.
you can't get stuck in your rut. Like, you have to continually adapt and learn and grow. And so, like, I would encourage everyone to make it a goal to get out to a couple events every single year.
Yep.
Again, like, kind of maybe different types of events, but like these trade shows and these conferences that are put on throughout the year, like, there's so many amazing conferences out there where you can go and spend just a couple days getting some education, meeting others, networking, learning, bringing back new tools, new techniques, whether it's, learning how to do, building science to construction project management, whatever it may be. I think just go kind of look, I mean, maybe even in your local community, you may find some events, but wherever it may be, I highly encourage people to take a little bit of time out of the office and go travel and go, focus on personal development, figure out how you can grow the business, how you can improve. That's so important to stay up to date with the times. I think it'll really, really benefit you to take that little bit of time away from the office, put those projects on hold, spend a little bit of money to go travel. It'll pay dividends if you do that year after year.
I 100% agree. Now, I'd love to ask you one last question, and that would be, what would be your one piece of advice to all construction companies? And like, that could be really anything, could be to do with project management, could be to do with personal development. What would be your one piece of advice that you'd give them?
Man, one piece of advice, boy, that's a tough one, man. You know, I- if I had to pick one, and I
I
and
know
I
it's hard to pick.
I
Narrow
could
that
probably
down
pick
to
like
one.
10 or 20, but if I had to pick one, I mean, I think at the end of the day, it's going to be to build a great team.
Yeah.
It's going to be to focus on your people, to make sure that you have rock stars all
Mhm.
around you. Whether they're employees, they're your trade partners, they're your whoever it may be. Like, just surround yourself with great people. Your you're only as strong as your weakest link. And so you got to make sure that the people around you who are representing your company, who are delivering services for your company, who are delivering the product for your customers, I mean, even your customers, like, pick great customers.
Mhm.
Not every customer is created equal. Like, make sure that you choose the people that you surround yourself with. Like, your life is too short to not do what you love every day. And when you have great people around you, it makes it that much more enjoyable. The success is that much easier. And I think you got to be very, very intentional about who you spend your time with and who you surround yourself with.
That's really good advice. Well, I really appreciate you hopping on here, Eric. Now, if somebody wants to learn more about JobTread and get a free demo and talk to one of your sales guys, where can they find you? What's the best way to get a hold of your guys' team and get started?
Yeah, I'd say, probably best spot is just go to our website, www.jobtread.com. You can schedule a demo right there at the top. We would be happy to spend the time to walk you through the product, to show you, to help you understand how, you would implement it, how it's going to benefit your business. We've got a ton of content on YouTube as well, or just, connect with us on, on Facebook or on one of the social media platforms. We're pretty easy to get a hold of.
Perfect. And you also have a lot of great resources on YouTube as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us. And yeah, if you enjoyed this episode, like and subscribe for more great content like this.
Thanks, Seth.